think about the war, things I remember are like quick little snapshots. The Iraqi man, after the explosion, reaching out for me with no jaw. The little girl with her blood-soaked hands grabbing onto my uniform. Those are the things that stay with me. Those are the things that follow me.
He heard it, and because I was just like standing there pretty much looking out the window, I didn't see what caused it or if there was an impact.
So you have no idea right now?
There's another plane just hit. Right, oh my gosh, another plane has just hit. It hit another building, flew right into the middle of it.
So when 9/11 happened, I mean, everybody was pissed off. I actually just had back surgery when this happened, and my wife came in. I was actually sleeping in that day, and she came in and turned on the TV, and I saw right when the second plane hit, and I was instantly pissed, and I felt like, I knew immediately we were going to go to war. I didn't know against who or where, but I knew we were going to go to war. And I thought I was going to be left out of it because I had had back surgery. So I called up the doctor that did my back surgery and made out like I was some important military guy, and I needed her to clear me so I could go do my duty overseas or whatever. And she signed off on it, and I got the Air Force doctor to sign off on it. And within a few days, I was in flying over to England, and we stayed there for a little while before moving on to Oman, and that's where I staged out of to support Operation Enduring Freedom, which became the invasion of Afghanistan. And it was at that time everybody was, I never saw the military work so efficiently. Everybody worked together, in a very, positive way. I mean, we were all motivated. We wanted revenge. I mean, let's be honest, I don't think a lot of people want to remember back on this time, but we wanted revenge, and we weren't particularly partial to who. There wasn't much of a, we wanted payback on somebody. Pretty quickly it was pretty evident, that it was Osama bin Laden or, Islamic fundamentalists that have done it. But there's no doubt that 9/11 changed my life. It changed millions of lives, but it changed mine. It changed the whole curve of my life was changed because of 9/11. Because that's when the war started, and that's when everything happened. Well, very soon after the war in Afghanistan began, I started seeing signs that we were getting ready to do something in Iraq. You could see some political maneuvering was going on with the UN and things. As it turns out now, looking back on it, and from what I've read after the war and after I got out of the military, the first meeting that Bush had with his principals that night, the night of 9/11, they, Wolfowitz and some of them threw out the idea of invading Iraq. So this was an idea they came up with instantly. I mean, it was one, I think they were just waiting for an opportunity to go in there. And, well, I guess 9/11 gave them that pretext, so they decided to do that. But early inside the military, even at a lowly level that I was at, you could see things starting to shift, assets starting to shift over there. And if you'd been in the military for a while and you know how things work, you can kind of tell when things are happening and getting ready for something. So there was a lot of that. And I have to admit, at the time, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I mean, I'd spent a lot of time, a lot of months in Saudi Arabia assisting with Operation Southern Watch, and there was Operation Northern Watch, which were both designed to keep Iraq bottled up in their country where they couldn't attack the Kurds in the north or wipe out their Shia competitors in the south. There was always, we always had to maintain those operations and always had had to have a presence there, and it seemed to make sense to me at the time, not fully understanding everything, that, well, if we're wasting so much money and time going, rotting away in Saudi Arabia and Turkey to enforce this no-fly zone, maybe it's just better we do regime change. What did I know? I was just a dumb kid, but these people that were supposed to be in charge of us, that were supposed to be the ones making the policy decisions because they're so smart, these people that had spent decades and decades in government posts making millions and millions of dollars, weren't smart enough to plan this thing correctly. Even, forget the argument about if the war was justified or not. Take that out of the equation. There's no argument that it was mismanaged horribly.